What's up, everybody? This is Jay, and this video is Empire Season 6, Episode 7, Good Enough. Now, a lot's going on, and we're going to finally start to see the end of the Empire. If you like my videos and enjoy recaps with humor, please subscribe and bang that bell if you haven't already. I'm trying to get to 30k subs. And also, if you recommend this video for others to watch, please hit that like. Now, let's get into it. Now, we see Erykah Badu and Dia.Re combo comes up to Lucia's door, and he's like, Yana, and she slaps the boogers out his face, and he said, so you came all that way to slap me, is that it? And she said, no, Lucius, I'm here because of what you did, and when I hear you speak, I see that you still have all that pain in your heart, and that everybody that you've ever loved has told you you wasn't nothing. He said, oh, is that right? And he says, I understand why you left. He said, I left because my empire needs me. She said, okay. And he said, it's time for you to go. And so she leaves. Meanwhile, we see Andre and his main Squeeze kissing and smooching all in the bed, and she like, I'm gonna miss these days when I have to go back to work. And so he stops, and she like, what's wrong? He said, I didn't know you was gonna go back to work. She said, I got a master's degree in nursing. You just do what you did for Tiana with your other artists. Meanwhile, we see Cookie at Tea Talk, and she's sitting there with Roseanne, and so she's talking, and they said, well, what you do this weekend? And she said, well, I had a chance to catch up with my sisters. And then Roseanne like, oh, is that right? Is that what you call it? And then they flash back and show what was going on at the club where she was fighting, and everybody in the audience like, ooh. And Cookie is surprised and startled to see it, and she's looking at the footage, and she's pissed and shocked. And so then they laughing at her or whatever, and she like, Cookie, I see what's going on. And then Roseanne like, I see, right, that's how you unwind with your sisters. And Cookie said, well, that was just a small misunderstanding. And Roseanne like, oh, that's what you call a misunderstanding? I guess black don't crack them bars don't crack black. And they start laughing and everything, and Cookie is shocked and pissed at the same time, but she kind of hold it together. The audience is laughing at her, having a good old time at her expense, and she like, you know what? And she slam her hands on the table, and she like, if you didn't freebase them last few brain cells, you'd understand what a misunderstanding was like. I should slap you across the table, but I'm not. Then I want to say, everybody, therapy does work. And so everybody started clapping and applauding her. And she said, yeah, so you all, that's the tea right there. And so she leaves, coming out victorious on them. And in the back there, the producers is like, good show, Cookie. She like, yeah, which one of y'all tried to pull that Jerry Springer crap? This ain't funny when you get pictures taken and when your child is ripped out your arm and you lose everything. He like, Cookie, it's all right. You did good. And she like, okay, well, look, I miss music. I want to have a music segment. They like, that's great. We love the journey. She like, the journey? And they said, yeah. She like, I want to have a segment. They like, well, look, we'll stick to the regular format where you pretend to go off and slap somebody, and then we just go ahead and laugh. And so she stormed off without snapping. They said, I guess therapy does work. Meanwhile, we see in the boardroom, Lucia said, all right, Treasure's album is #1. It sold 100,000 copies. Congratulations. And so then Andre is looking at some paperwork that Maya gave him. And so he's a little, quiet. He said, is this something you want to share, Andre, Mike? And he said, well, according to Billboard, Treasure's album is like Tiana 2.0, another cookie cutter album. And if we want to stay relevant, we need to change, Pop. And so everybody is kind of quiet and laughing. And he says, that is why I propose to do something different. Empire Raw. And I'm going to bring it from the artist's raw perspective. He said, oh, okay. And do you have a time machine to go back to 1998, man? MTV Unplugged. And so everybody laughed, and he said, nope, that's not the plan. But what we're going to do is something different. And he said, all right, Everybody leave. I need to talk to my son. He said, no, Pop. Anything you want to say to me, you can say in front of them. Okay, you have made mistake after mistake, Mike. You have ruined Tiana's launch until I saved it, and you are out as CEO. I'm replacing you. He said, you don't have the votes or the authority. Okay, we'll see about that. Next, we see Biggie and Smalls, and they celebrating with Tiana, saying, yeah, girl, you did it. You the first girl to survive with your dignity and your edges intact, and your YouTube video got 2 million views. You doing it, girl. She like, yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate it. Like, Becky, like, you sitting there on swole with a bandana around her belly, like, yeah, you did it. She like, well, thanks, girl. And she said, you know what, I'm gonna just stay off the soapbox and focus on music. They like, well, look, Tiana, we support you. She like, hey, I appreciate it. So now what's next? I mean, I don't know. And Becky, she's sitting there, she like, well, I was just thinking we can do something special and, you know, going on tour, go to college campuses. She says, that's a good idea. You know, Childish Gambino gave like away custom Jordans for his first 100 fans. And so she was walking away and she like, you know what, ladies, this is gonna be great. And they giving a little fake ass smile. Giselle, she said, oh, and I'm gonna give you my Glam Squad info. They only fly first in private, so hook it up. And Becky sitting there with her hand on her back trying to hold it up. She said, I don't know what we're gonna do. We could do Tiana Tim's or Becky Burgers. I don't know. And she said, this is gonna be expensive. She like, yeah, we gotta figure out a way. Custom is money. We're gonna have to do this like gorilla style. She like, I know how gorillas operate. This is my gorilla face. Meanwhile, we see Cookie and she's at a therapist saying, you know, they tried to, you know, put me on this thing on national TV, embarrass me, and then they wouldn't even give me a segment. I mean, this is messed up. I mean, what's up? You ain't got nothing to say? And she said, well, look, Cookie, all I see are wins in this situation. She said, what? Wins? They didn't put me, had me drugged, put me in jail, had this on TV. She said, yeah, but did you get fired? No. How you sleeping? You ain't mentioned Lucius? You doing good, girl. Meanwhile, we see her at the studio now, and she's working with Hakeem. He's sitting there performing his song for the movie that he about to be in. Cookie and Porsche and Big Yellow is all there, and they happy hearing what he's got going on. She come out, she give him a hug and say, yeah, you doing good, baby. And then we see Andre, and he come and he talk to her, and he's like, so, Mom, you still got your shares for Empire? She said, yeah, I still got my retirement plan. Why? He said, well, I'm gonna need you to back me against Pop because he's trying to put me out. And she said, no, I'm not gonna get in between you and your father and what he got going on. And he said, look, I'm trying to do this something good for Empire and he's trying to block me. And she said, look, whatever you trying to do, you go ahead and do it. You gonna be able to do it, but I ain't about to get in between what you and your father got going on. And then she leave. Meanwhile, we see Devon and he's sitting there with Lil Prince and he's sitting there with Tiana, and then Hakeem comes and he's like, what's up, man? They shake up, show love for a minute, and then he's sitting there with one sleeve ripped off and he asks to get his babies for their time. And so when they give him Lil Prince, he start crying and carrying on, and he want to stay with Devon. And so he pick him up, and he trying to fight, jump out his arms, and you know Hakeem a little salty right now. And they like, well, he's really been bonding right now. I'm sorry. It's just, you know, they've been having a good time, and so he reluctantly take his kid, and everybody is looking like, damn, this is messed up. Meanwhile, we see Cookie and she walking all through the halls looking like she on one or whatever, and then Lucius come, where have you been? I have been looking for you. I need to talk to you. And she's like, what you want to talk to? What you trying to do with Andre? You trying to sabotage your son? And he said, no, I need your help. He knows about crunching numbers. He's a genius at that, but he doesn't know about the talent and the artists. And if he has his way, he's going to undo our legacy. Just the other day you told me you did it all by yourself, and my measly $400 wasn't nothing, okay? So her nose all bent up. What you gonna need me for? And so then she leave, and now he looking salty right now. And you know, we see Cookie pop up in Bossy Media. She looking like a, you know, female Jack Sparrow. We see Becky, and she got on a hefty bag skirt on wrapped around her belly, and so she's all smiles. She trying to shrink wrap her gut. And so, you know, they all having a little drink. Becky got a lot of Kool-Aid in hers, and so she's talking about, I support you girls. And so they all listen, and they kind of leery at first, and she's like, yeah, I didn't think y'all was gonna be able to do it and would come crawling back, but now I see what y'all doing, and I want to help you, girl. I want to help you get off the ground floor. And Becky like, well, I got a 2-inch vertical, girl. How I'm supposed to get off the ground? She like, look, I'm gonna help y'all, okay? I'm gonna promote, your artists and stuff. And so then Giselle like, Cookie, that would be great, but what are you getting out of it? You know what? I just want to help you all, okay? I want to support you, and that's what us women need to stick together. So are you in? And Giselle reluctantly like, yeah, I'm in. And then they all celebrate. She like, yeah, this is gonna be fun, girl. And Becky is like, yeah, for real, I can't wait. Meanwhile, we see Lucius, and he's meeting with White Tracy, and he like, hey, I'm sorry, Tracy, we need to talk. And she's all smiles, and she like happy to get back with him a little bit. And she's like, yeah, Lucius, we need to stick together. It's funny how a lot of people from the past keep popping up. And so he's smiling. He's like, yeah, Tracy, I owe you an apology. And also, I just want to let you know that, have you heard about what Andre has going on? Because he's going to end up ruining a couple of things. And she said, Lucius, I heard, and you're the only man I know to ever successfully lead this company. Then he said, so do you have my back? She said, yeah, I support you as long as you support me and what I have going on with Philly Street. He's producing a lot of great new artists. He's like, it sounds like a plan. Meanwhile, we see at Empire, Lucius is walking in. He's feeling all confident now that he got White Tracy support. And he walks in on Andre when he was in there, and he's like, Andre, I need to let you know that you are now out as CEO. I have Tracy's support, and it's final. And then next thing you know, Kelly Patel walked behind him. He's like, oh, Pop, how you doing? Yeah, we were just talking. Our majority shareholder, Kelly Patel, he thinks it's a great idea with Empire Raw, and he's like looking dumbfounded. He like, yeah, so I think we're gonna hold off on that. And so he's looking like Andre got the best of him. And so he said, I think it's in our best interest that we go ahead with this, Lucius, and we just stay the course with who's in charge, especially with the past investigation. Meanwhile, we see Treasure looking real sexy coming outside, hopping the car with Devon and Lucius, and he said, okay, Treasure, I want to talk to you now. How is it what's going on with Andre and Empire Raw? And they said, well, he's got us working and calling us nonstop, but it seems like it's going to be okay. He said, well, Andre is smart, but he doesn't know about the artist. When you fell off that stage, who was there to help you get back together again? Well, you were. Devon, when you couldn't find your voice, who was there to help you bring that out of you? He said, you, sir. He said, as long as you back me, I'll make sure you guys always have what you need. And so now you sabotaging Empire Raw. Meanwhile, we see Hakeem, and he's performing, and then we see Andre and him about to shake up, but then Andre pulled away like he the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or something. So then they start laughing. He's got his little Carlton laugh going, and then they hug up or whatever. And so he said, man, you're doing good, man. I'm proud of you. He's like, yeah, man, but I got a problem. This tour, the kids, they getting confused. I want you to do me a solid and send Devon away on tour. He said, I can't do that, man. You asked for this. You the one came up on that stage and pulled that move that you wanted to be the lead in the movie. Any other CEO would have been mad, but I got your back, so do the right thing. He like, all right, man. Meanwhile, we see at this little concert for Bossy Media, next thing you know, we see is Tiana performing, looking super sexy, got the little afro wig on. And so Cookie and Biggie and Smalls is there, and so everybody is there celebrating and happy. Becky doing the shoulder lean real quick, too, side to side, and she like, this is coming out great. Where's the barbecue? And so Cookie and them was like, I don't know about no barbecue, but anyway. So she tells the producers from her show, everything here is produced by women. The cameraman is a camera woman. The best boy is a best girl. All of this is for women, by women, made by women. And she said, you know what? You all are doing great. So Cookie, she leave, and they wrapping up the show with Tiana. And so then then Biggie and Smalls come on the stage, and the lady say, "Is Bossy just run by women?" She say, "No, it's a way of life, okay?" And then she gives her the mic back, and they like, "Bossy is here to stay." And so then everybody start cheering, "Bossy, Bossy, Bossy." Becky start throwing the little shoulders, left hook, right hook, dancing. Giselle would go ahead and stop popping that little grandma booty, looking good. And so then Giselle, she was and Becky was dancing, they celebrating. And meanwhile, the producers come and talk to Cookie saying, "We love it, we want more." And Cookie like, hold up, I need to get more money, and I'm a producer, so you gonna need to talk to my agent. Deuces. And she walk off after she tell them that. And so now they looking stupid like, okay, damn, talk to her agent. Meanwhile, we see Maya, and she's at this little concert now, and she's talking with the Treasure and making sure she's all together and ready, but she's thinking about what Lucius said. Meanwhile, we see Andre, and he's there celebrating with his girl or whatever, and they kissing. And then next thing you know, Maya walk in, she like, "Oh, my bad. Hakeem, he wants to have Porsche do his mixing." And he like, "You know what? Whatever he wants." She like, "You sure?" He said, "Yeah, I'm sure. Whatever he wants, just give it to him." And she says, "Okay." And so now we see Andre's wife. She's all happy and supportive of what he got going on. And she said, "You know what? I can never be more proud of you than I am right now. You have really done it. You did good." And he said, "Really? You think so?" She says, "Yes. Yeah, I am proud of you. I'll be sitting in the front row waiting for you." And he says, "All right." Meanwhile, he's sitting there in the mirror, and he's happy. Then he sees that Hakeem, he's out there performing, and he's telling everybody about, this song right here is from the heart, and my brother helped me do all of this. And so Andre is sitting there looking. And so next thing you know, he starts performing, and he talking about, you and your girl have a good time, and I be raising my kids on FaceTime. And it sounds like he a little salty actually about what's going on. Meanwhile, we see Lucius smiling, and then Cookie like, "What you smiling about?" He said, "Nothing at all. I'm just sitting here watching the show." And then Andre is sitting there on the sideline. She said, "What you do? Did you sabotage your own son?" And so she said, "You go ahead, baby. You go get it." And so Andre walks out on the stage. He gives Hakeem a hug. And so while he's hugging Hakeem, he says, "All right, Empire Raw. This is something new. It's special. And without further ado, I'm going to welcome one of our next performer, Treasure." And so he's saying it, "Treasure." And nobody's coming. And then Lucius is looking like, didn't know who you was messing with, did you, Mike? And so then he looks at Lucius, and Lucius kind of give him the look. And he like, "Treasure." And she said, "What did you do?" And he said, "Nothing at all. I'm just making sure I gotta secure my empire." She said, "So you'll do that and sabotage your own son? You ain't right, Lucius. You ain't. I'm just finally seeing what you all about." And so Andre is looking to the side, and she say, "You go and tell them who you are, baby. You let them know about you, Andre." And so next thing you know, he's loosening up his tie, and he say, "I've been through a lot. For a lot of people that don't know, I'm bipolar. I was in jail, and I had this fire. I wanted to kill myself. I had a gun to my head. I thought that was the best way to end what was going on in my life. And I didn't have the talent to sing or rap, but I wanted to make sure the business side of me, I could live up to that so my dad could see me and be proud of me." Meanwhile, Lucius is looking and feeling a little salty inside. And he said, "But that fire, it almost burned me alive inside." And then Lucius walks out, and he stands there, and they look eye to eye, and then he puts his hand out, and Andre gives him the microphone. He says, "You know what, Mike? I'm sorry. I apologize that it's taken me this long to see who you are, Mike. And I'm more proud of you than ever before. And I want to give you a hug because I love you." And then they dap up and hug or whatever. And he said, "Without further ado, the main event, Treasure, come on out here. And then Andre and Cookie walk off, and then Treasure comes out looking real beautiful and ready to perform. And so now she's singing, looking real sexy and everything, and everybody is all happy listening to her song. But at the same time, Andre is all salty and distraught over what just happened. And so he in the back with his wife Terry, and he's saying, you know, Lucius, he made it all about him. She said, no, it's not, Andre. You did good. You put all this together. It was you. And she leave, and he looking, and now he sees Kingsley in the back. He like, what's up, little bro? The only way you're gonna be able to end all of this is with blood. And he says, I can't do that. He said, that's what you gotta do. You gotta take him out. It's the only way he's gonna ever respect you. And then he's looking at him, and he's smirking or whatever. And so now next thing you know, of course, we see he's all by himself. Meanwhile, Lucius come back, and he like, oh, well, he did it. I helped him bring it all together. She said, you know what? I'm so sick of you. He said, what did I do? Is it everything that I do? You hate me so much you can never see the good? She say, no, I just see the miserable person that you are, Lucius. I'm finally seeing you for what you is. And you know what? It ain't much. And she walk off and leave him standing there stuck on stupid. So now he's all lonely or whatever, and so he walks into some hotel. Next thing you know, he's knocking on the door, and boom, it's India Ari Badu. And so he's like, give her the look, and then she moves to the side. She looking good, lets him in, and they put the do not disturb sign on the door. Now it's time for some real talk. Now, this episode was kind of interesting in a way because, for one, we trying to see Lucius really will do anything for Empire, even sabotage Andre, and he's really unnecessary. He's creating problems that ain't even needed. And now him and Cookie seem to really be over, and he in love with this young girl that's taking him back, but in reality she probably wouldn't want to have nothing to do with him. It's really crazy. Anyway, I want to say, check out my website. I got a video about what I've been through, this traumatic event. I appreciate if you all check it out. It's really interesting and inspirational. Also, check out my Patreon page. It's a lot of different levels that you can join. I got a lot of great little benefits I'm working on. I just put up a new video when I was at the Arnaz J concert. It's exclusively for Patreon, where you can see all the stuff that was going on with Arnaz J and more. And also, last but not least,
watch it.
Please
Leave
a
comment,
hit
that
like
button
and
subscribe
and
I'll see you
in the
next
video.